Hmm. All right. Let's see. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. We're waiting on our guest. Hopefully, she's not having any technical difficulties. Hello, Morgan, Michael, Nasia, Janie Hodges, Sabrina Mick. Hi, Marilyn. What's going on? We're going to have a feeling we're going to reconnect here toward the end of the month. We're all kind of taking a break through the 21st. Alta Almeida, Sean Morris, Michelle Below, Elfie Shantz, California, Jody Lee's in the house, Bonnie Nip Heiner. Hey, Bonnie. How you and Robin doing? Sean Christopher's in the house, Garrett Petrov. Yeah. Rita Tomei. All right. 22 people. Katarina's in the house. Linda Hickton. Okay. So if I don't start the show, they end up deleting it. So they only give me a 10-minute grace period. So hopefully everything's cool with Sarah. But everything's always perfect. So while I'm waiting, let me go over the calendar. I haven't posted the stuff for tomorrow. Is that Thailand's in the house? Hello, Sheila Krishna. All right. So later today, in about, 6 hours, we're going to have a very special lady on by the name of Marita Bat Shoshan from Israel. It's going to be a very, very good show. If you're up in 6 hours, be sure and catch that one or catch it on the replay. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Hawaii, which is going to be 1 p.m. New York, 6 p.m. London. We've got Yukia, who's been on many, many times. In the afternoon, Jason Estes is going to give us an update from Activation Station and the things that he's working on. What did Janie says rap? I haven't rapped in a while. I have to get back into that soon. So tomorrow's Yukia, Jason Estes, Tamara Oviatt, and Chris Rowland. And Saturday, Rebecca Williams, Allison Engel, Cotton Hart. Sunday, Nikki Hammond, Karen Starr, a couple other people. And the 21st, we've got Vera Ingeborg again, Melissa Ford, and Judith Cassell is going to be at 10 p.m. Hawaii time. That'll be 3 a.m. New York City time, 8 a.m. London on the 22nd. So we've got some good shows lined up right through the 21st and through the morning of the 22nd. We still got some to fill in. 31 people in the house. Florida's in the house. I see a lot of new names. Let me just go to the phone so I can grab the comments. Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, Rebecca's coming on. That'll be a good one. Jeannie Guerra, Marianne Savino's here, Emily Hawkins, and Janie Hodges. Well, I don't have any music, so I can't rap. So, yeah. Okay, it's 10 minutes past the start. I'm not sure. Austin, Texas in the house. Carrie Demers. There's a lot of new names coming to the shows. Morgan says looks like we have Rana Herman coming soon too. So she's working on filling that schedule up and getting some new and some returning faces and some new faces. This is the network for all the voices of the Mother Goddess, right? And we all have that voice in us, that same voice that's been suppressed for many, 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 many centuries and years, but now it's reemerging in all of us. Morgan says, "What have you been experiencing, Mr. Medina?" Like she doesn't know. What have I been experiencing? Wow. Let's. How far do we want to go back here? Well, I can tell you this. I don't know if you guys saw the post from last night. We had something pretty exciting happen, which was a portal, a doorway appeared above us where we're staying, and that was pretty interesting. What have I been going through? On a personal level, I've been going through a lot of things, as we all have. I've been going through. I've had some moments. I've been in Kauai since the 1st of November, and spent the first 5 weeks here before Morgan got here. Had a lot of encounters with dragon energy. It was all female. There was a lot of purging. She came on the 7th of December, and she spent 9 days being very ill. And then I followed her right when she got finished with 17 days of being very ill. We went through a lot of shifts. We were faced with a lot of things, like people all around are being faced with a lot of shadows, a lot of things presenting themselves to me as they have been to everybody. Things that we, as Morgan says and others say, things that we used to be or we still are. For me, it's been very humbling. I spent a lot of time trying to put together an expanded Soulogy presence, and that's had to be blown up and restarted many times, but it's all okay because it's actually coming along just fine in its own time, as everything else is. I've been learning to let go of the linear. I've been stepping into my power as a true sacred masculine, which has meant that I've had to let go of all the things that I thought made me a man. I had a really cool experience a few days ago with Morgan where I was filled with golden creation particles, and she said, "You're gonna have a big shift. Something big's coming." And the next morning, I had a big fear bomb drop on me. I'm not fearful, but I had a big fear bomb on me. It was very disheartening. It was disconcerting. It was discombobulating. I spent most of the day alone, trying to figure out what was going on. And then I went for a walk on the beach, and kind of had a revelation of, it's all the same thing. It's fear, and you got to let go of it. I also had to let go of Morgan. That was a big one. I was taking a walk, and I heard, "You've got to release her. You got to let her go." And I think that I don't know where she's at. I'm trying to, yeah, whatever. It's okay. So you interrupted my flow. So, and I think the point of all that is for me, anyways. I had to let go of everything. You have to let go of everything to get everything. In a sense. You can't attach to anything. I can't attach to Morgan. I can't attach to our relationship. I can't attach to Soulogy. I can't attach to my mission. It's weird. It's not a linear or 3D thing. It's a quantum thing or a 5D plus thing or whatever you want to call it. So I found some things out. I found out that truly releasing, not just giving it lip service. When you release things, somehow unexplainably, on the understanding of the human part of us, they come back to you. There's no separation. That's one thing I learned. And the other thing I learned was learning is, since the 1st of January, is to ask every day for assistance from my team, from other aspects, from the universe, whatever you want to call it, is to ask for assistance. And so that seems to be working a lot. um, and to align with to align and do the things that um, that make me feel good, that are in my heart or from my heart. So to be with Morgan, to talk to Morgan, to do these broadcasts, to work on expanding Soulogy, to encourage people to come onto this platform, um, and, uh, and to expand their own voices, and to activate brothers and sisters by telling their own stories. And I find that for me, over the last 7 years doing Soulogy, um, not I didn't know this, but I realized over time that the reason that it was effective, when whether I did a post or a video or a spirit walk and other people did the same in the group, what was most effective was when people were just raw, and whatever it may be, just being really raw. The show we just did a minute ago or a couple hours ago with Camille was very good. I mean, this is a person who's been highly sensitive since she was very young, and she's a great example of what I'm talking about. And she can sit here and talk about the intel she gets and the things that she sees and the work that she does, but also she could talk about being on Christmas Day and being in tears and being all alone, and isolating herself in her apartment, and for the whole day. And I can feel the same way. I spent 2 or 3 days ago. I had a period of time where I just told the universe, I'm tired. I'm done. Let's just be done with this. What am I doing here? We've all had that. But that's to me what's so important about the frequency, or the frequencies that go out on Soulogy, creating an ever expanding vibration. What's important is that they're just real. They're just honest. They're genuine. They're raw, authentic. And I think that's what really um, activates our brothers and sisters more than anything. So I see a lot of I see a lot of people that have been around here for a long time. Some of these people have come on here and shared their stories, in one way or another, supported uh, supported Soulogy with their love, their support, their energy, and contributions. And so I can see this continuing to grow. Um, and it's not me. It's not the people that come on the show. It's everybody that's involved with it. We get messages every single day. So many messages I can't even answer them. Of encouragement, of gratitude, of support, and every single day, my email and my messages are filled up. And have we ever experienced DNA changes like this? Well, Angie, do you want to come on and talk about that? Because I'll send you a link right now. Have we ever experienced DNA changes like this? I don't know. That's not really my expertise, but I would say probably not. Right? All right, let's see here. Let's see if we can get. I'm just going to wing it. Sometimes we just got to make it up as we go, right? All right, let's see. All right. Let's see if we can get her on here. You say my wife is super lucky. No, it's actually me that's super lucky. Let's see. Somebody said, how do we get on the show? Contact Morgan Lee, because if you contact me, it might take weeks or months for me to get back to you. Yeah. Ann McKean says, all new. All right, Angie, I just sent you a link. Let me know if you're going to come on, or I'll just keep things going. Let's see. Okay. And yeah. So another thing I've been seeing a lot. Okay, what I've been going through has been the expansion of. Skylar Gray says, "You both are so damn beautiful." Yeah, it is an incredible journey, and it has been a reflection of the energies of the earth, which is the falsely empowered masculine energy being disempowered, emasculated, castrated, whatever you want to call it, and the feminine stepping into her power, and then the masculine stepping into his power, and then continuing to both elevate each other. And the other thing is too, I think people think about divine conscious unions and stuff like that, and they think it's just all, you look at somebody and everything's perfect. And in a way it is, but what I'm trying to say, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work with yourself. And I think that that energy is becoming more expanded on the earth too. So very cool. Let me see if Angie's going to come on here. Let me see if she's coming. It looks like she might be. So she's come on. She's been involved, collaborating with Soulogy for a long, long time. She's been on hiatus for a while. I haven't seen her around, but I'm going to give her about 3 more minutes. We had one show didn't work out this morning, and we had a really good show with Camille. We'll see if we can make something of this one. Anybody else wants to step into the studio, just post it here, and I'll send you the link. We can seat a couple more people in here and just have a little fun with it. Let's see. What else can we talk about while we're waiting on her? Yeah, love does overcome. Love is the only thing there is. Yeah, we're still working on the website. I sent everybody a note today, said let's just not do anything for a few days. It's an important period of time right now with the 17th to the 21st. I'm taking it seriously on a personal level. I'm paying real close attention to the thoughts that I have. I'm paying real close attention to the projections that I put out. And, it came to me yesterday that we're all projectors. We project everything. Now we're becoming conscious projectors. So, we all have this whole thing going on in this transition. And, we learn these things and all this stuff, but we're all getting more and more intuitive and telepathic and trusting. And at the same time, we want to have the best human experience. We want to have the best human experience that we can have. So that brings in the whole thing about manifestation, materialization, and how do you do that and pursue that and create that. And I think that's what this year is all about. And so that's what I'm focusing on. That's what I'm trying to focus on or do my best to focus on is to align with the things that make my heart sing and somehow or another figure out how do we create this heaven on earth from the center of the universe, which is me, right? All right, let's see here. All right, we got there. Here we go. We got a visitor. So good deal.
Finally, it was like crooked. I was like, you're sideways, Ange.
Crooked. So where are you at? Where you been?
I'm in Portland, Oregon. I'm staying with my my son in Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon. Have you met Danny Picard?
No.
Danny Picard. Go check the archives on Facebook or YouTube. And he just came back from Egypt. He's there in Portland, Oregon. He's super cool, dude.
Okay.
Super cool.
All right. Well, send me his name so I get it correctly.
Yeah, you should.
When I go to type it in, there's so many people now, on the network. So I'm like, so just type it in, send me an email or whatever. Yeah. I'm up here. I sold all my stuff. I'm up here. So I was on my way to there, Kauai, and then I got an to be here, and I'm like, I think I needed to because I need to sleep a lot right now, and I don't need to be like staying at someone's couch. I have a room here. I have a comfortable place. We're growing seeds. We're doing all kinds of cool stuff, and we're creating. I'm doing like art nonstop.
Janie Hodges says she's in Oregon. Let's have coffee. So yeah, tell us what's happening. I mean, you're a reflection of every one of us.
I mean, it was like
so you were. Yeah, I just want to. Yeah, I want to give everybody a backdrop to where you're coming from, because this is a great story.
Mhm,
It's a great example of what so many people have gone through.
mhm.
You had an awakening a few years ago. You came out of the Matrix, very conditioned, traditional
Can you see me
3D.
okay? Do I need more light? Like,
No, no, you're good.
you
You're fine.
good?
You're
Okay,
fine.
cool.
Yeah, and then you ended up going to Washington State. Oh, I'm sorry, Oregon. You ended up
Mhm.
going to Oregon and shoveling horse shit at 50 some odd years old, and just creating this for 3 or 4 years, creating places to live and sustaining yourself,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, like so many of us, toward the end of 2018, everything came to a head,
Hmm.
and you thought you were coming to Hawaii, and you made a personal choice. It sounds like in your best interest, which was, I don't want to sleep on a couch, even if it's on an island in the middle of the Pacific. I'd rather have my own space, and I'm aligning with something else over here in
Hmm.
Portland, Oregon. Does that
Yeah.
sound right?
Yeah. Like the week I was evacuating all my possessions and my girlfriend showed up to help me with that. She's still selling a bunch of things of mine and it's putting money in my bank. And I'm like, so in the meantime, my son goes, Mom, why don't you come stay with me? We have an extra room. And so far, we're getting along pretty good here. They're going through whatever you would call that, the 3D thing. But he's been getting unemployment. So he's doing art. He's not back in the matrix at the moment. And
Oh
so we're
wow,
both doing art. He's doing art downstairs. I'm doing art upstairs. And we're like putting a whole gallery up on the house, of our
wow.
art. And so that's what we've been doing. And he's like up at all hours. He can't really sleep at night very much. So that's kind of been going on with me too, where I'm up at night.
Now,
And
how many kids do they have in the house?
they don't have kids. They have
Oh,
pets. They have
so
two
it's the
dogs,
two.
two cats.
Okay, so it's the two
Those
of
are
them,
our
two dogs.
kids. Yeah, they're our
Yeah,
kids. Yeah.
your
And
fellow souls. So
yeah.
you
And
have 7 souls in the house.
yeah.
And so you were saying they're kind of going through the 3D stuff. Are you talking about
Well,
the
the girlfriend, she owns a business. It's a,
okay.
roofing company. And so she's going through paperwork. It's that time of year you got to do the taxing, and
Mm,
we're just like, oh, I feel her. Like the tax man is
yeah,
on
yeah,
her ass, and I'm like, and so of course she's like, well, you guys have a good day, ha ha, and she's got to go to work, right?
yeah, yeah.
So we feel that energy, but also it's like, how do I get out of this? Like the
Now,
step
now,
between
how
two
do you
worlds.
get do you guys talk about this stuff? I mean, they're
Yeah, we
obviously going to
do.
be
We do talk
so
about that.
so that's interesting. So they're probably what, in their 30s, I would think, or
Well,
going
she's
late.
older than my son, and
Yeah.
he's approaching 40. Yeah,
Okay, so but they're still of another generation, so that's interesting to be
yeah.
in a household like that.
Hmm.
So what's their take on what's going on? How do they recognize, and this, well, what people
Yeah,
call ascension?
yeah.
Do they feel like that they're going through some type of
They
collective?
do. They don't really
Yeah,
call it what we do when we talk about it. They
yeah.
call it they call it a bunch of bullshit.
They're probably talking about the external, like the world
Yeah, yeah.
stage. Yeah.
There's still a lot of projection of what's outside there. There's this language that isn't my kind of language, but I'm just kind of like okay with it. I'm not
Hmm.
trying to convince them of anything because I don't even actually know what I'm doing. I'm
Yeah,
just I'm going with my heart. I'm going
yeah,
with that. And then, like I said, what's going on with my body. When I said DNA changes,
yeah.
like seriously, like physically, I need to be in a comfortable environment. So I'm like, all this happened like the week I'm moving out of this other place. Mom, come stay up here. And then they got me. I got rid of all my winter clothes because I thought I was going to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And so I had no warm clothes. And so, she got me soft pajamas and she's helping me be comfortable here. And
Wow.
she's not asserting like any kind of like, this is my house, no dominance. She's just like, Mom, you're here. This is a good place for you right now. And so I'm helping like fill in the blanks, like taking care of the house, doing what I can, but I'm sleeping a lot because sometimes I'm up all night and I don't know why that is. Like I'm a sunrise girl and I'm like, what is going on with my body? And so
Yeah.
we have structured water, and I'm doing this business aspect of self-employment with structured water. So finally, I've been so frustrated trying to get this structured water to some people that want it in Ghana.
Yeah.
Finally, we've got some kind of an address because you can't really trust the postal system. So I've been so frustrated because they're saying people are dying every day because they don't have clean water. And I go,
Yeah.
one little portable, I'm just giving it. I've been giving my inventory away to people because I trust the universe is going to support that.
Yeah. Very
And
cool.
so it's on its way. We finally, I think I know what I'm doing. But yeah, we're all like trusting that is going to create a ripple of positivity and help for people there. And I
Do,
feel that I'm up here too with where I'm at. We have a house unit, but we were trying to find the plumber that will hook it up for us without, having to tear up the street,
yeah.
you know, to get it installed.
So
So
you've been sleeping a lot. You've been doing
yeah,
a lot of art, right?
yes.
And
Mhm.
you've been
And crying and crying.
and
Lots
crying.
of crying.
What?
And I think Elaine told me, goes, well, do you realize we're heading into full moon again? And I'm like, oh, I forgot what day it was. I don't even know the day sometimes. So
Have
I,
you
because I
had a
don't
lot
have
of
a calendar.
have you had a lot of stuff come up? Is that why you've been crying, or
Oh,
you
yeah,
just?
yeah, yeah. Purging. Stuff came up about my dad today. And my dad's like, you need to come see me because I'm not going to be here that much longer. And I'm getting this telepathy huge, like for my family to go over there. And I'm like, well, I'm the oldest of 10 kids, and I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna get in that. I'm not getting in that family drama. I'm not gonna do it. So I said, I love you, Daddy. uh Thank you for what I learned from you, but I'm not gonna go be at your deathbed
Yeah.
because it's not death. He's just
You're choosing you.
yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, you're
saying
choosing.
no, you don't need to get in the middle of that. And that's like huge as far as family programming. You're not
What you
acting, I'm not acting normal.
yeah, well, but we've already stepped away from that. There's no sense in going back.
Yeah.
What's your feeling on where you're, and again, as an energetic, you know,
Mhm.
impression that's in the form of you, but what are you feeling like? Where are you at and where are you going? Like, do you feel like, or maybe not where you're going, but do you feel like you're going to be taking another step soon, or right now you're just in this place where
I'm
you're kind of,
definitely just in
yeah,
now moment. And when here's what I'm getting. Like I think you're the one that said that too. Like don't just be in a hurry, don't just jump onto Kauai, sit tight.
yeah,
That's what I've been doing.
yeah.
Just it whatever's going to be coming, it's going to feel more at ease.
Do you feel
I
like
don't
you're
have
being,
to force it.
do,
I don't have
do
to
you
force
feel like you're being cleared, like clearing the vessel to feel more of the light up and possibly
Yeah,
being
yeah. That would
prepared?
be probably definitely there's the purging happening,
Mm,
but part of it is for me is like how much am I purging for the collective,
yeah,
for all of us? Because
yeah.
I'm like, how long do I have to keep doing that? Because it is overwhelming. If I
What,
signed up for that, I also said, I'm done doing that. I'm
yeah,
done doing that for the collective. Let me just be me,
yeah,
right? And so I'm like, that's where I feel the emotion is like I'm feeling everybody purging,
yeah.
and I'm sensitive, and I'm like, can I not be sensitive anymore? And I'm like, no, you're here to feel. So
If you get a chance, you should watch a show prior to this with Camille Nick.
okay, I will.
She's super sensitive, and I can't
Mhm.
recall exactly what she talked about, but this is something I've been picking up on in the shows where we were these super empaths and we
Yeah.
were picking up on everything. And early on we shut it down and,
Hmm.
and all that stuff. And
Well, and
now then,
we try to not be so sensitive. So I know I've done
yeah,
that my whole life. I try
yeah,
to do something to just not be so sensitive. Even I
yeah,
was told that growing up, my dad would say, put your feelings up on the shelf. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
He would like say, put your feelings up on a shelf. And I'm like, nope, there's no way I
Yeah.
can do that. I'm not a
Yeah.
military woman that can do that. And so, you know, I
But
can recall like as a little girl,
yeah.
you know, he'd be driving drunk and I'm in the back seat driving the car, kind of like mentally, like, Dad, get us home. We got a car of kids in this. You know, it's like, get us home safe. And I would
Yeah.
just stay completely
You,
aware and help with that energy. And I'm like, well, see, you had to grow up with that, but you chose it. I chose it, apparently,
yeah.
you know.
You,
So, oh,
I've noticed that, and this is what I was referring to. I noticed that, you know, and she was kind of talking about it. That's why I was saying you could probably
oh,
relate to it.
okay.
And I'm going to try to get this right. But I've been noticing, and then as I was talking to her, she kind of like explained it, I guess, in a way. So I've been noticing that the empaths are no longer taking on
Mm-hmm.
that is not theirs.
Yeah.
Now you're taking it to a little bit different level, which is we all understand that a lot of the stuff we're doing on behalf of the collective, but it's always the individual first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so there is kind of a line there. And she kind of touched on that, and I wish I could like just recall it, but I can't.
It's
Uh,
okay. I'll
but
watch it when we get done here. I'll watch it and
yeah,
then
yeah.
yeah.
But I feel like that's something that we're on to,
Yeah.
something to where everyone's becoming more self-reliant.
Mm-hmm.
And really the best thing we can do for the collective, regardless of what's being processed or transmuted, is to take on our full responsibility, because that's an energy that just begins to expand when it's recognized by other souls, that type of thing.
Well, yeah. Here's the gift too, Todd. You know who I'm staying with, Cody. So when I left the marriage of his dad, and I left that, got divorced at that time, he and his brother were both on heroin. So I couldn't take it anymore. I just let go because I was so concerned and worried. And I go, that's just feeding that fear. And I go, you got to take care of you. And so I left and came to Southern Oregon and was doing the horse manure thing because somebody said, hey, but you can stay here free.
Just
If you
shovel
do
some
that,
shit,
you can
shovel
stay
some
here. You got
shit,
a
and you can
place to
stay here for
be.
free.
Right.
Yeah,
You know, and so I kind of was like purging then. That was back in
yeah,
what,
yeah,
2015 or 16 or whatever. Or I don't know what year it was. Oh, 2012. The change happened 2012 on to 2013. They talked about the Mayan calendar.
yeah,
Something in me said you need to get with nature. So that's why I was there for
yeah,
that whole turnover. And I was really connected with the earth. And I had to leave my family, even though that was hard for me because, I was very attached.
yeah,
And so anyway, so here we are, boom, boom. Now we are at 2019. I'm at his place with his girlfriend in Portland, Oregon. He's not on heroin, but he,
yeah,
uh, it's surreal. Like he's still going through some kind of metamorphosis, just like me. And like we are doing art nonstop and we're doing this and that and still trying to cope with our physical changes. And I'm like, it feels very like, am I an alien or what?
when you guys when you're talking to these two from another generation, when you're talking to these two about what's happening, even though they don't call it the same thing, do they acknowledge anything going on with their bodies?
Not too much
Not too much.
at this.
And so their focus is more on the external of
Hmm.
what the hell's going on. This shit just can't last. The financial
I mean,
system,
there's
there's
kind of like the conversation of like, I know I start something, then I don't finish it. They've got projects going on. And so they're a little bit in a twirl. The
yeah,
energy feels like that for me too. Like
yeah,
I'm in this like fast paced, big city kind of energy. And I'm used to being more with nature. And
yeah,
it's winter right now.
yeah.
So the
Now,
usual ways that I would ground, like she goes, didn't you probably walked everywhere? And I go, pretty much I was walking everywhere.
Yeah.
And so they're watching my diet, what I eat, and I'm kind of like trying out their diet, and it's like it's not working for me.
Yeah. Are you able
It's not
to
working.
are you able to because I moved around a lot and I like to walk a lot and I like nature. Uh,
There
but
is,
are you able to walk and ground and connect as you were in
yeah,
Southern Oregon?
yeah, but I'm telling you too that structured water is what's helpful, because it's sometimes we've got this like the wind coming from the east is such a wind chill factor. It's like, ooh, it's really intense. So yeah, there is a park down the way and it's big. We got trees all around, old growth here where they live.
Hmm.
So the trees are anchoring this energy. And
Yeah.
also I do the
Yeah.
structured water. Like
Yeah.
for some reason you can't really take a bath in the upstairs bathroom. It's not staying warm, but if you take a shower, it is. So we're totally confused by that. Why can't we take a nice hot tub soak? So we need a plumber, a magical plumber, to come and figure this out.
Hmm.
And but yeah, no, it's been cold. And so but yeah, I come out there in the blustery wind sometimes, take the two dogs for a walk, and they're dragging me. These
Hmm.
little poodle doggies are dragging me like a team of horses.
What's it like though? What's it like after you pretty much were living by yourself all that
Yeah.
time? You know, I mean, pretty much. And so, what's it like going into an environment where you're cohabitating with six other souls? Have you seen like a change in the energy? Is it just kind of all fall into
The
alignment?
animals are really, seriously, the cats, they at first weren't sure about me, and now that it's like, no, pet me some more, pet me some more. They're like, they love me because
Mm,
I brought structured water. So I'm
mm,
making sure their water dish is full of that, and they seem more relaxed than when I first arrived. And
yeah,
now I'm getting the same. So there's something about this structured water thing
yeah,
that just this year, now all the prices that we used to have, they are almost like reduced half,
yeah,
because it's helping our planet. It's helping
yeah.
people get through this kind of energy that we feel twirly. And I go, well, sometimes I take 2 showers a day in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's grounding me. The water is grounding me.
Chantel Renee was on yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked her, you know, what she's been
Mm-hmm.
picking up over the last 2 3 weeks, and she said, you know, the one thing that stands out the most is I've been hearing water. Everything's
Yeah.
water, you know,
Yeah.
and I've been hearing, you know, bless the water when you take a bath and talk
Mm-hmm.
to the water, just like
Yeah.
you know.
And put the label on whatever your glass is or something. Put a piece of tape. Just say the word love. You
Mhm.
know that you can already structure your own water.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah,
Now, with whether or not that will ripple out to your neighbors, that's
mm,
why I'm doing this natural action thing, because that water that I'm using here in the house affects my neighbors, even if they're not conscious. It's rippling out all the way to the Columbia River,
yeah.
rippling
Now,
out. I already did that in Ashland, and I'm like, well, you did what you did there. Now you're
yeah.
good.
Somebody asked the question structured water is question mark and then somebody else Marilyn said she had heard Aluna Ash mention structured water last year and she
Mm-hmm.
looked it up and made some herself.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask you before you answer more in depth what structured water is, because the energy's changed, because we've kind of gone from linear to
Mm-hmm.
quantum or something shifted. uh, Part of this whole trip is the conscious intention that we have, and
Yeah.
and we are creators, and we can create anything.
Mm-hmm.
Is what is structured water, and is a part of it, I guess, at the core, is it water that's infused with conscious intention, whether it be by some physical action and or a conscious energetic thought?
Well, I think there's so much like an overload of like, what do you call it? EMFs, energy, radiation, toxins. There's so many different dynamics going on with our water. Like when you go up to a mountain and it's coming out the mountain, it's more pure. But
Mm-hmm.
like in a big city, they're recycling. The
Mm-hmm.
water's getting recycled. And so we have a lot. Can I ripple that out with my intention? Perhaps I can, but some part of me is not sure I can. So this is helping me remember that I'm capable of that. So if you will, it's like my consciousness is still waking up, that I have that much power, because maybe there's some fear around that, you know, back in the days of Atlantis, Lemuria, people abused that. And I don't want to do that again. So maybe that's my hesitancy in my DNA or something. I don't know. So at this point, it's just do the best you can, Ange. You're getting there.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
do
the
I
core,
want the best and highest good? Yes.
yeah. But I mean, the core of Nolan, his name is Nolan, right? The guy that
Oh, Clayton Nolte.
Clayton.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
You almost met him.
yeah, I know. In the but the core of his intention,
Yes.
whether there was a physical action or not,
Mm-hmm.
in the process, the actual process he uses with his product is really an intention to create a pure water or pure energy.
Right. And so if people don't understand this or understand this yet, the government got a hold of him as a teenager. He was a genius, creator, inventor. They got him pretty young. And so he signed up for that. He didn't know what he was all going to be involved in with that. But once you've signed your name on there, they wanted to, you know, pick his brain, because they were doing experiments with all kinds of things with energy. And so, you know, now he's out of it, and, you know, he has an intention. I don't need to be in that. And now he's doing for the good.
Is he still in Sedona?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. You're gonna have to arrange a 3-way. We're gonna have to do
I know.
do a
Many
show.
people are,
You've been
do this.
you know, I don't get on. You know, I less and less. You know, especially when I'm doing a lot of shows like I have been. I'm not able to really get on and catch. You know, actually go down the news feed and see what my friends are doing. But I've caught a few things here and there, and what I kind of got, you know, because it is all energy. I got that you were kind of like hibernating. I got that you were just doing a lot of self-care.
Yeah.
And you put up one yesterday that caught my eye, and I had it in my head when I got up this morning. You said something about you've been thinking about when you did certain things. I don't remember. Do you remember what I'm talking about? I can look it up real quick. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, all I know is, like, when you got sick and you and Morgan, I was kind of going through that too. Like, the throat was raspy, and I'm like, something's going on with the throat chakra. And I thought, you're about to get some major virus. And I remember a year ago, I was down for about 2 months. And I'm like, I'm not doing that again. So that's why I said, it's a good thing I'm not traveling. It's a good thing I'm not on someone's couch. I'm where I need to be. And then I'm just kind of purging or something. And staying warm, and just moment by moment listening to that, having lots of tea, you know, and just trusting that some kind of wisdom is guiding me to be where I'm at.
Yeah. You posted this on the 16th in the morning. I have wondered in the past few days why some part of me checked out of my human experience. And I thought that was really interesting. You know, and then the response from people was very interesting. What were you talking about here? I mean,
well,
beyond...
I was having a conversation with another sister about kind of that, like, it's almost as if, like, the day I was born, they had to pull me out with forceps out of my mom. Like, at some point I said, wait a minute, I'm not sure I want to do this.
It kind of sounds like the Clayton deal. You know, you signed up, and then you signed up,
like,
and by the time...
wait a minute, what the hell did I sign up for? You know, so throughout my life, I felt that I had a hesitancy about what I was going to have to do here. And it was, you know, a lot. And I'm like, okay, well, that came up. So that came up, and I'm like, so you want to address that? Are you still going to stay here, or do you still want to do planet Earth, or do you want to, like, go home?
Check out. I wanted to check out about 3 days ago for a little while. I was like, man, I'm done.
Right? And that's interesting. You
how do
did.
you
You said that.
now, where are you at? How do you feel? What's your take, your perspective on what you're
Well,
doing, here now,
I think it's
and
quite
where you're
simple.
headed?
I think
Where
it's
you're.
quite simple. What you said to me too was sit tight. Don't don't try to make a choice right now. Just flow. Flow
Mhm.
like water. Be like water. Just
Yeah,
flow. And each moment is teaching me to have grace.
yeah,
Grace with don't be in a hurry. Just allow that this new beautiful miracle energy is going to help me inform
yeah.
myself what to do next.
Oh, I like that. How would you define that energetic
how,
grace?
well,
How
that's
would you?
why
I mean, what is grace in
grace
this?
would
Because
be
grace is not the same thing
gentle.
it was. But
Grace,
like
it's
what you
gentle.
just said, yeah. What is grace to you?
It's be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with others. Be kind. Be loving. Um, don't be violent with yourself. If you need to do this and you need to eat something, then do that. You know, don't let somebody else tell you that you have to be a certain diet, you have to do a certain thing to be
Yeah,
all enlightened. My body's telling me what I need to do.
yeah.
And so I have to quit listening to everybody else because I'm the alchemist in my own universe.
Right,
So
right.
so if it looks like it's not a good thing, don't listen to that. Don't
Yeah,
listen to somebody else's opinion of what that is.
yeah.
You
Well,
know, I'm an
give it.
alchemist. I can do whatever I want. But maybe at certain times I might have, I don't know, I might eat certain things I don't usually eat, which I
Yeah,
have done here.
yeah,
And so do I feel guilty about it? No. I
yeah.
bless it and thank it.
So yeah. At the core of that, grace is
Be
uh,
gentle with
and-
yourself.
yeah. But also, what I'm hearing a little bit too is there's a level of empowerment there, which means that you're not disempowering yourself. You're not giving your power
Huh,
up.
right.
Even in that example you're talking about, and that happened to me. That happened
Mhm.
to me at the end of the year, uh, while I was sick, and even leading up to it, by a person that I felt, knew what the hell they were talking about, and it was affecting my uh, power,
Yeah.
and I was kind of on it, but then as these energies, and the island presented everything to me, I could see things very clearly, and I was able to say, F that. That's not my deal. I respect your deal, and your journey and all that stuff, but I'm not just like you. You're not going to go back and
Well,
immerse
'cause
yourself in that field of energy where you
mhm.
were raised to see somebody on their deathbed because you don't want to expose yourself to that drama. And I feel the same way. I'm just like, hey, that's one person's drama is another person's gold. I don't know how it works, but it's not a judgment. It's just like I don't want that in my field. And
I
really, what
really,
it gets down to is not giving your power up.
yeah,
Right?
Todd, you know what it is? It really is like this is about sovereignty.
Yeah,
We've been so shook up with our own personal sovereignty that this is the issue up. Like, if your heart says you don't want to be there, then don't.
yeah,
You don't have to
yeah,
like suffer because somebody else is uncomfortable,
yeah,
right? You know, we have sovereignty to choose. And there are sometimes I choose certain situations because my heart says, let's be here and be
yeah,
present with it. But let me be here all the way and not just
yeah,
a little bit is like, well, I don't know, but like I want to be authentic with myself.
yeah,
And so that may not look the same for somebody else. And I can't tell people how that's
yeah,
going to be.
yeah,
You'll know. I mean, that's what I'm developing. It's my
yeah.
own sovereignty. A
Yes.
man can't tell me, a woman can't tell me. It's just, can I be in my heart at this moment that this is where I'm to be?
Yeah. Another thing that you just hit on too, we're talking grace, we're talking empowerment, which means we're
Mhm.
not we're not giving power up. And you just hit on something, and I feel like it's connected. Um, Damn it, I lost it. You were just talking about you were talking about if it doesn't feel right, you're not going to do it, right?
Right.
So
Hmm.
if you flip that, and I'm trying to like attach, or connect grace with empowerment, with
Mm-hmm.
what we're experiencing, because it's futile to even try to do this in human words. But as I look at this, what's the opposite of that? There's something about holding those things in your heart,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like holding what you like to do, holding who you like to be with,
Mm-hmm.
or and more of an energetic thing I'm talking about, but holding those things in your heart, there's some type of thing happening where
Yes.
it's actually coming to you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Without
Giggling.
the,
I
yeah, you know
think
what I
you
mean?
get it.
But you know what I mean? And it's
I do.
without
I
the,
do. I get it.
yeah, and yeah, and
Because
it,
remember,
yeah.
okay, so if I were to go back to the week, I'm like, the landlord, for a few weeks earlier knew, I said, it's time to get out of here. And I kept thinking that, feeling that it's time to like liquidate, clear out your, whatever you've collected. You want to get out of here because it was getting sketchy there. And, and I'm like, all of a sudden he's like, you need to be out of here in 3 days. And I'm like, there's no way and I go, I already told him I'm on the process of moving out. But
Mhm.
then he's now telling me you need to get out in 3 days. And I'm like, it's not going to happen in 3 days. And then my girlfriend shows up. Okay, girl, we'll get this done, but it's gonna take a week or more because I had
Right.
papers to go through and all kinds of stuff. And then I'm like, well, gee, if I go to Kauai, I sure do. My heart was going, but I really want to like go spend time with my son, right? So
Yeah.
I'm thinking this process, and all of a sudden, it shows up.
Yeah.
Mom, come on up here.
Yeah.
But I
Very
was
cool.
like, that was what my heart was saying, was like, your heart wants to be where your heart wants to be. And it was like, that became my new brain. Like my
Yeah.
mind let go and my heart began to like motivate, move the energy
Yeah.
in a different way. And I'm like, that's that, whatever you're talking about, that's what's happening. Like I can feel it. It's like, it's a power unit. Maybe it's a new brain we're growing. I don't know. High heart, whatever.
Yeah.
But
I think that's, and it's strange. I've been saying for a few days or weeks that it seems like that the biggest, for me, I'm speaking for me, the biggest challenge, I can't find the right words, but the hardest part, or is getting used to this new thing.
mm-hmm.
Because in the old way, like if you go back to your example, well, I want to go to Hawaii, I'm going to need to do this, and I'm going to need to do that, and I'm going to need to do this. But then your heart, you said your new mind says, I want to be with my son. And that's all you do. You just, I want to be with my son. And then boom, it happens. So it's like it comes to you, you don't go to it. And it's so far out there from where we came from. You're like pinching yourself going, okay, that worked. And then it worked again. And how do you keep doing that? So it's like, it's a total new way of,
Mm-hmm.
of living,
like
it's
like this has come up. It's like, well, mom, they're looking at me like, well, maybe you'll get that coconut plantation and we'll exit the matrix and wind up over there with you.
mm,
That has actually come up in the conversation. Like
yeah,
if the magic continues like this, like it may just unfold and somebody says, hey, I need you to help manage this coconut plantation, and there'll be a place for family that is ready to get out of the matrix, the
yeah,
9 to 5, and do something different, you know
yeah, yeah. And one thing I noticed too over here, right? Because I really haven't talked about this a lot, and I'm reluctant to talk about certain things that involve Morgan and I, because we keep things private. I don't
hmm
think we've posted but one picture in the 6 weeks she's been here. But and it's not a bad thing. It's just that what I'm talking about is I've done a lot of traveling the last 2 years. Some places
hmm
you go, for most of the time I didn't have any money. I mean, like
yeah, I
zero
know.
money.
I know.
And so that creates an imbalance. And and
hmm
and, and then I kind of, Soulogy expands, and then it eases it up a little bit, but there's never a guarantee, and it's never like more than a few days out.
hmm
So when I got the call, to come to Hawaii specifically, it was a heartfelt thing. It was a heart mind thing, and it was kind of scary. So my point
Yeah.
is, I get over here, and it's like it's a tourist place. I mean, it's not cheap. I mean, there's people that rent rooms for 12, 1300, 1500 a month, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but the other thing I noticed is that heart. I love what you said. The new mind, the heart mind. Uh, the things that happen. You know, I get over here, a lady contacts me and says, "Hey, I've got a place you can stay for the next 6 weeks, with a room and a bathroom, with privacy, and it was fairly affordable." And I was like, "Whoa," you know. And then how these things just start
Mm-hmm.
again coming to you with. Now I don't want to say with no action, because it seems like there has to be some action. It may not produce the result that you put the action out forth in a 3D sense, but something comes back to you.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it seems to be tightening up to where you're more in the now, more in the now, more in the now. Like there literally is no tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, they got me a calendar to put on my computer, so at least I kind of know where I'm at. Because
yeah,
I don't even know what day it is sometimes. I don't
yeah.
even know what time it is. My night and day
Yeah.
are kind of like flipped over, and I'm like, well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying about, is this DNA change or energy or what?
Mm,
Don't know. I don't have an
yeah,
answer there. I'm just in it.
yeah.
I'm in it.
And then,
I'm doing
and
the
then,
best
and
I
then,
know.
yeah, yeah. I'm the same way. I mean, and I'm not kidding when I say this. I mean, I can tell you 3, 4, 5, 6 days ago. I know. I remember it happened again, and I was like, I didn't know what month it was. You know,
Yeah.
something came up, or I read something. I thought, well, what month is this? You know, is it October? You know, or is it what? I had no idea. So I'm in the same boat there. The other thing that has been really noticeable for me has been you know, last year 2017 on the solstice was one of the first times, besides maybe a Lion Gate earlier that year, you know, that I really saw that there was something that came with a certain date, right?
Mm.
Well, this year on the solstice, that same thing started happening. And then what was it? It was the solstice, and then the first of the year, and then it's like, and then this eclipse on the 6th, I think, and then there's another one on the 21st, and this period between the 17th and the 21st where all these planets are lined up, and there's no planets in retrograde until March the 5th. And I'm thinking, this is like, you can't make this stuff up. And then you have the personal experience. So I'm sitting here, two nights ago, and I'm going through what a lot of people are. You know, the stuff shows up, and I went and sat on the back porch, and I was like, I'm talking to the trees, you know, talking to the galactics, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm done. Okay, and if you can't, you need to show up. You need to come here visually in front of me and speak to me, because I need some clarity. Like, you know, what the hell is going on? So then last night, I don't know if you saw the pictures that Morgan posted, and it's on my page and her page.
I'll have to
Uh,
catch up.
there, we walk outside. We're about to watch a movie, right? Which, go figure. We turn on Netflix. She goes, "What's that? Transcendence. Let's watch that movie." You know, and that was another story. But so we walk outside and we look up where we're staying, and there is a rectangle, a door. There's a doorway in the sky. Now you look at the pictures we posted, and
Okay, I'll go back and
it's
look.
multi-dimensional. There's a light on top of it. It's like a cube, you know, like a rectangular, like, but a cube, you know, where it's more than three-dimensional. And there was like a light on top of it, or on the other side of it, that was projecting a light on the side of it. It was perfect lines. Now there's all these clouds moving now, and it's still sustaining its appearance. Well,
Mhm.
you know, I got to thinking about it later. I thought, wait a minute. I sat right here on the same porch the night before and said, you need to show up, and you need to give me some more clarity. And then I was reflecting on it, thinking, okay, they did show up.
Mhm.
Something showed up. It
Mhm.
showed up, but it's not like explaining
Not
things
what you
like,
thought. Yeah.
yeah, but
Well,
yeah.
whatever you're describing right there. My current piece of art has that going on, that same energy. Like
Wow.
I'm like in the middle of it, and it's all, there's like this image of gold happening, but it's something coming through me energetically.
Yeah.
And I don't even know exactly what that's looking like yet. I'm trying to like create it through energy feeling. And
Yeah.
it's sitting there, and I'm literally sleeping with this thing. It's like a triangle energy.
You know what it reminds me of? I don't know if you ever did you ever see that? Yeah, because a couple of people, at least, on the post when she put it up, I saw they wrote like, "Hey, I've been seeing that in my third
Mhm.
eye," or "I've been seeing that
Mhm.
when I'm sleeping," or something like that. But it
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of that movie, that old movie from the '80s, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, right?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
Richard Dreyfuss has this vision, and this
Yeah.
woman he doesn't know has this vision, and
Hmm.
he goes out and he builds this mountain
Hmm.
in his living room, and it's just like, of this thing he's seen, and it's like there's a what I'm saying is there's a congruent, energetic impression that
Hmm.
people are picking up on it, and I really believe that doorway thing that we saw, and it was there for a long time. And if you look at the pictures, you can see it, was some type of symbolic representation. It's a portal, like
Yeah.
like like like
Yeah.
we really,
Definitely.
yeah,
Like, well, it means that I can step into another dimension,
yes,
but I'm still in my physical body.
yeah,
Yeah, it's all that, and the molecules of my own body are trying to adjust to this. Like, it's just get me, like, it's like a little baby step. Get me used
yeah,
to that, how
yeah,
I can transition between multi dimensions physically too. And so the art is helping me with that.
yeah,
By doing the art, it's helping my brain like get out of its, what you say, linear or whatever,
yeah,
into
yeah,
a different way of like get in your heart, and don't be too like freaked out, because it is a little bit,
yeah.
I don't know, like
It
it's
is.
inner
We
space.
we,
And and
yeah,
I just happened to pop on the TV too, because I haven't watched TV in several years. They have everything here. They have cable, they have movies, no commercials. I don't like the commercial thing, but I get on a movie thing or something, and it says, all of a sudden, the last 2 days, it said enlightenment. So I checked that out. And it had to do with the Dalai Lama and the Tibetan Buddhists, and how they would like put a red band across their third eye so they would not be so oversensitive. And I'm
yeah.
like, do I need to wear that? Right? And that's why
uh,
they're in their temples, because their
yeah,
third eyes are open. They're doing art. They're doing these beautiful mandalas. It's like, and my son goes, "Mom, have you ever seen the Mandela effect?" And I'm like, "No." He was talking about Mandela from Africa, and I'm
yeah.
going, "No, I know, but I know about mandalas."
Well,
Right? So we're
there's the
having this
Mandela.
conversation.
Yeah,
And so I'm going, well, I don't think they're quite the same thing, but maybe they are. I don't know. I'm being curious, that your third eye gets open, and then it's overwhelming.
yeah.
So
I
you
think,
need to, like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. I was talking to Chantel yesterday and on
hmm
the show, and she's a practitioner. She opened up she hung up a shingle like 6 months ago, and she's actually doing the work on a local level, not on the
hmm
online. And she said, I don't know. I just set the intention, and all these people are coming. And she said, there's so many people coming at me that are just waking up. She had an 85-year-old lady come in that had a Kundalini experience and wouldn't know what the hell was going on. So I think
yeah.
one of the big things is, which is what I love about what I do, what I'm involved with, is that when we talk about these things, there's some type of we're activating and we're
Yeah,
opening code.
sure.
I
Hmm.
just see this comment here, and that's what brought this up for me. So she's saying, Wendy Kirkwood says, Saturn has appeared to me a lot lately in my mind's eye. Now, last night when this happened,
Ooh, yeah.
we were watching this movie Transcendence, and it was very good. It was about AI and it was about love, and it was a good movie. Johnny Depp and Morgan Freeman. But anyway, so we were kind of like, we'd go look at it, and then we would come watch the movie, and then we're like, we should go look at it again, and we'd look at it again, and then we'd be like, well, should we watch the movie? And so we were in the flow of it. We were like, yeah, we're
Mhm.
supposed to. And then there was some other stuff going on, which I won't get into, because what I want to make the point of, today we got up and my first show, I had some problems. So I had some time. And Morgan says, why didn't we speak to it? Because that's what we would normally do. And we're like, well, let's do it now. So we sat down and we had a session. And Saturn came up. That this was a portal into Saturn, and there was a whole bunch of stuff that came with that. So I think that there is some congruence with what people are seeing, back to that movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where people are seeing the same thing, but it's not like in the perfect mental substance where you can say, oh, this is what I'm seeing. Oh, this is what I'm seeing. Instead, you've got somebody who's making some art. You got somebody else who's seen it here. You got somebody who visually sees it, and it's all kind of coming together. So I think it's important that we keep putting this stuff out there.
Yeah, something obviously. We're more than one planet.
Yeah. Do you feel like we've crossed into another dimension now?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that just happened? Do you feel like that just happened recently?
Yeah. First of the year. Like when I felt like I was getting sick, I was like, okay, this happened to me before, like 2012. That's when I left the marriage, and I have to get out of here. I just knew it. So at that point, and the masses were talking about this Mayan change over 2012, 2013. Well, I didn't really know what that meant. I just knew I had to leave or die. I had to leave that situation or die. So it wasn't comfortable, but then now it feels like that's happening again.
Yeah.
Like it's now happened again, 2019.
I think what I'm getting from what you're saying, what's making me like you in that same time period, like so many other people that have been on the show, and so many people that are in these circles that we're on social media. They had, and you can call them way showers or Blu-rays or whatever you want to call them, but so many have this similar story of having this incredible, life-altering, life-changing things happen, and whatever, by choice or not, And but this, and to me, now that I think about it, when you said that, and I was walking the streets, I felt definitely like I was in another dimension, no question at all. But this one, I think that what I'm seeing is different. Is this one? It's everybody, or at least many, many, many more people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because seriously, okay, hang on, I gotta have a sip of something. Like I'm at the store, like we go to the store, like grocery store, and people are little kids are looking at me like they're looking at me like what is she? And I'm like, I don't feel any different, but they're looking at me like they're looking to the side of me, and people, and I just, hi, how are you, or whatever, I'm just being me, but they're like looking at me like with their eyes popped open, like they can't believe what they're seeing. So I don't know what they're seeing. Are they seeing my auric field? I don't know. But it is kind of to get used to that, like, oh my God, I'm activating people everywhere I go.
Yeah, I can, that resonates. I feel that.
They're getting activated by my presence, and I'm like so humbled by that, but I'm also like, okay, so let's reassure them, be kind, don't, like, I'm not here to control anybody. I'm here to just be love. And so that's what I'm experiencing in this big city now. That even the neighbor guy, we wind up at the mailbox the same time, and he's looking at me like, wow. He goes, you don't look like your son.
That was a come on. I'm kidding.
Like, yes, he's looking at me. He's like, they're thinking I'm not my age.
No. And the thing that jumps out at me too about what you're saying, because this has happened to me. It just happened to me recently. It was just a quick flash thing. When Morgan and I were in the grocery store with this little kid. Okay, I think it happened a couple times. But what jumped out at me was these kids that you're referring to. Because that's happened a lot. These little kids, and I think to some degree animals. They
Yeah.
see some things that the conditioned humans not seen, even if we can't see. So at some level, there's an element of validation there.
Right. And so maybe that's it. I'm here with the animals because they're looking at me, but they're like, oh, but she's cool. We like her. When I first arrived, they were like kind of scrambling, kind of like not sure about me. But now they love me. They just didn't know they didn't know what to think. Am I supposed to be afraid of her? I don't know. They were like looking around, looking above me and all over. And I'm like, okay, my voice by just, it's okay. And I would sing to them. And now they like, oh, we love her.
Yeah, I got your little video today. That was funny. I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. I didn't even catch it all. I just heard something about, oh, he went to smoke and didn't take you to pee or something like that.
Do you want to go for a walk? And they're like, oh yeah, let's go. But like when you step out the house, there's fear in the air, the neighborhood. Like people break into people's cars next door, this and that. And I'm like, so at first I was like, maybe I don't want to go for a walk. But then I'm like, you're not going to live inside a house forever.
Yeah.
Go for a walk. Go hang out with the trees and don't let that energy consume you. And so we go out, the dogs and I are walking and we're just being friendly. And then somebody's neighbors, they were out washing their car. They had their dogs out and you're supposed to have them on a leash. Well, they started charging at these two little puppies. I'm walking and they go, oh, we're so sorry. They were so apologetic. And I was like, we just going to keep on walking. Because that dog, the big dogs could have bit the little dogs. And I was like, oh my God, what are we doing here? So do I not take them for a walk?
Yeah.
No. So then they were more conscious. The neighbors now are being more conscious that if you're going to have your dog out there, you need to have them on a leash.
Yeah. And what you're saying, what jumps out at me about that is wherever we go, we can hold our field now.
Yeah.
We can hold our field now. We absolutely can. And because if we do buy into it, that's what we're going to get. And that's, I go back to what I kind of saw through experience Morgan and I were having over the last couple of days. And she was explaining something to me. And I was just like, we're projectors. We're actually projecting it. So now we're becoming conscious projectors. And I look back too over the last couple of years, because I was in some pretty rough areas in New York at times and different places, and maybe even in the woods, because sometimes in the middle of the woods all by yourself, nobody knows where you're at, no cell service. That can be a little bit scary. You know what I mean?
Right. But sometimes I feel more comfortable there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can hear.
I'm connecting with Mama Earth, and she's guiding me. Because that was this morning. I woke up and go, okay, Mom Gaia, what's going to happen today? And she said, baby, you need to just keep resting.
Yeah. Very cool.
You do not have to do. Because some part of my masculine energy within me feels that I'm supposed to be doing something. So I did. I was like frustrated to get structured water to Ghana because they didn't trust their postal system. And I'm like, I'm willing to give them one of these for free that will help their village. And they've been wanting this for a year or two. And so it's off and on its way now. And
that's interesting too. That's another interesting point you bring up too, is about the masculine part of us.
Yeah.
This masculine part of us that feels like it has to do something, or it's going to die, or it has to do something,
or protect, or fight, or
But that seems to be what you were talking about, back to the heart, the new mind, which is the heart is the new mind. Mm-hmm. That seems to be a big deal. I went through a shift today with Morgan, and the end result of it, the energetic end result of it. And so this is in myself, in my relationship, in the world, was, I'm going to allow that masculine who's just coming out of, the old thing, that's getting rid of all that and discovering what the new part of it is, the new power of it, to speak and to be heard. But at the same time, that heart, that new mind that you're calling the heart, which is really, to me, that feminine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave the final call to that force. You
Right. And
know,
can we like just hold the horses, sit tight, and just
yeah,
allow it to
yeah,
unfold? What is next to be shown will show itself. It's like somebody described it. It's like when you're stepping up a ladder into the sky or something and you don't know the next step.
yeah,
It's like it's only appearing the moment you take the step. And I'm
yeah,
like, it is. I've seen paintings like that, and that's pretty much how it feels like. Like I'm
yeah,
stepping into an imaginary another step of which I'm not going to know where the next one is.
yeah. That happened to me today. I woke up this morning and I had got a message from one of my kids, right? And it wasn't like the other day when the big fear bomb dropped on my head. It was just like I could feel the energy of fear come into my body. So I walked out to the into the
I'm
living
not
room
making
area.
fun. I'm giggling.
I know, I know you well enough by now. But so I walked out and I told Morgan, I said, I just kind of went into this thing. I'm going to go see if I can take care of it. So I walked outside. I took 20, 30 steps and I'm walking down this little road. And I said, okay, so you're in fear, you know, you're
Keep going. My
feeling
phone's your battery's about to go. So I'm just trying to find a plug in.
okay. We only got
Let me
about three
my
we only got
hour.
about three we only got about 3 minutes left anyway.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't
Cool.
want to go past the hour and a half.
Okay.
We'll have
All
to
right.
do
Well, it just has
we'll have to
some
do
low
another.
battery.
No, that's
Okay.
okay. But I took a I went down this road and I said, okay, so what do I do? And I thought, well, so you're in fear. So I thought, okay, well, what does that feel like? It feels like this feeling that's, that little knot, nausea, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of looked at the sky and I kind of heard or whatever, you're just walking through another door, an unknown. That's all this
Yeah.
is. And then I heard, and it is what it is on the human level. Like the information I received, it is what it is. So what the F are you going to do to change it? Nothing. It is what it is. So, and I turned around and I saw a white bird at that moment fly right across my path. I thought, okay, well, that's it. It's that simple,
Yeah.
you know?
That's the enlightenment
Yeah.
that just reminds you just chill.
Yeah.
Don't take it too serious. And that's really how I'm getting through this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not like don't
It's
push
just,
it.
yeah. It's just
Just
so,
allow.
it's so, well, it's taken some getting used to because how do you say it? It's like time is getting shorter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
And
so it's
quicker.
like,
Like,
yeah,
oh.
so it's like you get
Yeah.
the enlightened validation,
Mm-hmm.
and now you only have hours or a day ahead of you.
Yeah.
Where like you make a choice in the 3D and you rent a place for 6 months and you got 6 months of this, right? Or you got a job and you got 6 months of this paycheck or whatever. You know what I mean? The steps are literally just the net one after the other. That's it. You only can see that far. It's like it's
Yeah.
shortening, like what you can see.
Yeah. I
But
know
at the
we have
same
a
time,
calendar,
yeah, yeah,
but I'm like, what do I do with that? That just gives me a certain amount of information. It doesn't really
yeah,
have to affect any pressure upon me
yeah,
unless I choose that.
yeah. I think too
Yeah.
the big thing that's coming into play now, not only is the physical uh, things that have happened to the body as we're purging and clearing out, and the sicknesses people have
Mm-hmm.
had, and so on, which has really been a pure energetic, experience or process, is that the body's speaking louder. So it's kind of like that's part of the new navigation system, not just as, oh, you need to eat this or, oh, you need to go do that, but more of what you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
If you're
Yeah.
feeling
Right.
off, if your body's feeling off, then that, something needs to be worked out. And
Well, and
two, this,
how many
and,
of us, Todd, how many of us too, like, oh no, I'm going to cry in public. And I'm like, so what? If
right,
I'm going to break down and have to cry in the middle of a grocery store, why not?
are in front of 5,000 people on the camera. Because
Right. And I'm like, because
but
as soon as I let that go, that there
yeah,
was a fear. I let
yeah,
that go. And
yeah,
so I've been feeling much better by, okay, so I may look emotional, like what, I don't care what they think or
yeah,
they or what.
yeah,
just be who I'm being. And then it moves, and then it moves, and then it's done. And it almost like somebody else shows up and says, "Oh my God, I love you. You're so real." And I'm like, see, that's what we need. We want that. We want to be real and feel our heart. And then people have permission to do the same thing. Like, because they're stuffing down their feelings.
Yeah. And I think that goes back to what you started with when you came on, which was talking about, being told you needed to go back and be at somebody's bedside. You're making a choice for yourself. You're doing what's good for you. And when you do that, without being rude or sound arrogant or crass, who cares what other people think?
That includes family. That includes
right.
your family, because they are our biggest teachers. So, I'm like, okay, so they're all wanting to lean on something instead of dealing with their own emotions about it. And I have been the one that was doing it for my family.
Yeah, exactly.
In this lifetime. And so I'm not going to do that. I mean, I've probably already done that. I was in Ashland. My father was there. We had our moment. I don't need to go there by his bedside when he passes.
And maybe what you were talking about too earlier about, getting to the point where you've done enough transmutation for the collective. You just want to do you. Maybe that's the energy of what you're talking about is because really, if you go out from the circle of the universe, which is each one of us being the core of it, that family is the closest part of it. That's the collective, closest to you.
Like at some point, when is it enough that we feel for the whole planet suffering? I'm like, at some point, I ask myself, do you need to continue in your human state feeling all of that all the time? Because I'd rather get busy growing a new garden. Let's grow a plantation of lovely coconut water plants and things like that.
I think
frolic and have a good time. And I'm like, at some point, I have to make that choice not to do that anymore.
Yeah. I think you do you. You do you, and that's the best thing we can do for them. And that takes all that stuff that isn't ours off of us and puts it where it belongs on each individual person. It's the self-reliance of the soul. Let's get together.
That's what I would say to the collective here listening is do you. Take care of yourself, because we're all going through our own thing. Take care of yourself. Love yourself.
Well, if you are taking on other energy, that's taken away from your own, you are healing the collective when you heal yourself. You are, expanding the collective when you expand yourself. So it's was part of the whole makeup for us to take on other people, because it made us, because we thought we were doing it because we love everybody, which we do love everybody, but we forgot about ourselves.
That is called some kind of like codependency.
Yeah, of course it is.
Some kind of program. And I'm like, I think we're getting done with that.
We've gone from codependency to self-dependency.
Yeah.
So let's get together again in the next few days. We're going to be in transition after Tuesday.
Okay.
So I'm not going to be real clear on the schedule right away, but let's do something.
You know me, of all people, I know.
Yeah.
It may be here
that's the pot calling
there, whatever.
That's the pot calling the kettle black, right?
Love everybody. I love you.
I'll see you later. Peace out. We'll be back in let's see, 1, 2, 5, 4.5 hours. We'll be back in 4.5 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
With Marita from Israel. Okay. See you later, Angie.